We have the World Championship challenger Javokhir Sindarov entering into the game. He's going to play Praggnanandhaa at the second round of the Super Chess Classic here in Bucharest, Romania. And there you have Pragg and a handshake, and off we go. The game has begun and Javokhir opens with pawn to e4. Now Pragg lost both his games to Javokhir at the candidates in 2026, and Pragg, as always, takes his time for his first move, calming himself down. Will he manage to take revenge against Sindarov? By the way, if you remember, both the games were super exciting in the candidates, where Sindarov sacrificed a piece to beat Pragg. E4, E5 played. In the candidates, Sindarov had played pawn to d4 as the first move. Here we have pawn to e4, and both the players have started off with a draw in round 1. Knight f3, knight c6. We have the Italian with bishop c4, and I think this does come as a small surprise to Pragg. The Italian on the board, he goes and bishop c5, pawn to c3, knight to f6, and Javokhir Sindarov is thinking the most natural move, d3, is played in such positions, and that is how players play. But Sindarov, few moves later, plays his bishop to c2. Now, how did we reach this position? What transpired? And how did we get here? Let's have a look at the board, and then we continue with this game video. Look at Pragg, by the way, feeling a bit relaxed on the screen. Let's go. So we spoke about how in this position pawn to d3 is the main move, but Sindarov surprised Pragg with pawn to d4. This is more aggressive, and after pawn takes, bishop b4 check was played. Now the main move here is to play bishop takes and knight takes, so that the knight defends the pawn, and then black usually equalizes with the move d5. But instead, Sindarov goes knight d2, allowing Pragg to take the pawn because the knight is pinned. And now pawn to d5, when you have trades on d2, and Pragg is now a pawn up with black. But look at the space that white has. Sindarov castles, Pragg goes d6, and now h4, starting to push his pawn on the king side. Castles h5. He stops the pawn with h6, and now rook g1 prepares pawn to g4, followed by g5 launching an attack. So Pragg stops the pawn. The knight moves, preparing f3 g4. We have queen to d7 played, and now you go bishop d3, taking control of this diagonal here. Rook comes to e8 for Pragg, and now this inaccurate move, bishop c2. Sindarov is preparing queen d3 to checkmate Pragg on this diagonal, but this is where we resume the game. Pragg has the advantage. Will he manage to find the right move? Bishop c2 would work, but queen b5 is such a powerful move. It's prophylaxis against queen d3. It's a powerful move by Pragg, and not only does he stop queen d3, he also attacks d5. Now f3 played. You can go back with the bishop to d7, but Pragg is like, why don't I take another pawn? He's now 2 pawns up, and the d5 pawn is also hanging. So Sindarov has to be really well prepped now. He goes pawn to g4, attacking here. And now bishop to g6 is forced. He plays his bishop back to g6. And the knight can take on g6. The bishop can take on g6, but knight f5 is a cool move. The point being that if you take here, I have take, and queen h6 with a mating attack. So taking here is a bit dangerous. Queen c5, pinning the bishop, so that after knight h6, g h6, you can't run away with the queen because c2 is hanging. King b1 played, trying to get out of this pin. And Pragg now says, thank you so much for the pawn. I am 3 pawns up at this point. So white plays knight to h6 check. G takes on H6. And now queen takes h6 doesn't work because c2 is hanging. So first bishop takes bishop. F takes g6. The threat is to take on h6. And then g6 is also hanging. First goes rook to c1. Attacking the queen. The queen comes to b5 because the thing is, if you had taken here, queen d4 was a beautiful defense. So Sindarov is trying to move the queen away and now take it. And this could get super dangerous. But Pragg has a defense now. He can give a check and go back. And remember, he had captured several pawns. So right now he's a piece and a pawn up. Another knight sacrifice by Sindarov. Pragg takes his time. Check. King a1. And now very important move. Queen d4 to keep the advantage going. Plays it. Queen to d4. The point is, if you go rook d1, I go queen g7, and I'm very happy with this rook endgame. It's pawn up and winning. So queen h7, Sindarov has to continue the attack. He can't back out now. Queen g6. The rook could enter in. There could be dangerous threats. By the way, queen f6 is the best move. Pragg goes rook e2. Queen f6 also Pragg saw during the game, but he wasn't sure if this position should be good for him or not, this endgame. So he goes for rook e2, threatening mate in 1 here. And Sindarov gives a check. Okay, if you go king g8, that's just going to be mate. So you have to come to the center. King e8. Rook h8 is not possible, luckily, because the queen controls here. So check. And we are on move 30. Sindarov has 15 minutes. Pragg has 29. I mean, Sindarov never really came down to 29 minutes. By the way, he has a huge streak of unbeaten games. I think that is close to some 60 odd games. Queen check. King e8. And check. Are we going to see a repetition here? But I think Pragg should try. King d8 is the move. Yes, he tries it. And the point is, after queen g8, he could potentially go king d7, because if you take here, it's a mate. But turns out that after rook h7, knight e7, there's this beautiful move, rook takes. Rook takes and queen a8. That's deflection for the rook, because if you took here with the king, then there's rook c7. So that's why he goes rook e8 back. Does not go up with his king. Rook e8, queen g5 check. And now knight to e7. Blocks it up, I believe. So the king is safe. He got back his pieces. Black should be winning. But beautiful move, rook c1. And Sindarov is essentially saying that I'm a piece down, but I have rook h7 coming. You are all passive. Your rooks are not working. Queen d3. Pragg is threatening queen g6 now. And the queen on g5 is very important to stay there. He blunders with rook e3. A big mistake. The right move was f4. Because if queen g6, now the queen is protected and you can go rook e7, queen g5, rook e8, and it's a draw here. But after rook e3, queen g6, now you can't play rook e7 because the queen is hanging. It's a very subtle move, but it's a big change, because once the queen goes to g6, the queen has to move from g5. You can then coordinate everything here. Queen g6 check. Excellent move. Queen to b5 played. Can't really come up ahead, but rook b8 defending the pawn. And if you give me time, I'll go a6 b5 king d7, and I'm a full piece up. That's a huge material edge. Rook e1 played a6, and I believe Javokhir has overextended himself here. Queen a4, b5 played, and the point is, after queen takes a6, I can simply go king d7 and reorganize. So he goes here, and tries to go for this trick. Takes, and queen c7. So Pragg has to be careful. He goes queen f7, defending this. And Pragg gets up. He's very confident here, of course. Rook c1, attacking the pawn on c7. And the players reach move 40, so both get 30 extra minutes. Sindarov thinks for a lot. Knight to d5, defending c7, attacking e3. Rook comes to d3, threatening takes, and a mate. So that has to be carefully dealt with. Pragg goes calmly. Rook b6 after 5 minutes. And now everything's protected. c7, a6, the knight is defended. And Sindarov there, you can see the look on his face. He's resigned to defeat there. He did attack. I think it was a great attack there. And he's unhappy. He's going to stumble to his first loss in many games. I mean, Candidates was unbeaten, but even before that, he had a huge streak. And Pragg is like, should I get up or should I wait for Sindarov to resign? And Javokhir stops the clock, nods his head, resigns the game. Praggnanandhaa has beaten the World Championship challenger. And he's saying like Rook h7, and he has a good play. And what I love about Javokhir is this very nice curiosity. And he's like, oh, I should have gone. Maybe he's saying instead of Rook e1, he should have gone Rook h7. And maybe he's even better here. But maybe Queen f2 stops Rook e1. So that doesn't work. But yeah, brilliant game. I must say these two players are, they've had a huge tradition of fighting games since a very young age. I think Javokhir had said that he played Pragg first in the under 7 championships or under 8 championships. And now here they are, two of the best in the world playing at the Grand Chess Tour, the Super Chess Classic in Bucharest, Romania. Pragg scores a win and joins into the lead at 1.5 out of 2. Vincent Keimer and MVL also won their games. But this is a big win for Praggnanandhaa. I'm pretty sure that after losing 2 games to Sindarov in the Candidates, he would have wanted to win 1, get 1 back. And by the way, the tournament is happening in the parliament of Romania. And look at Sindarov there. He's moving out quickly. Of course, he would not like to hang around. And also this victory for Pragg would definitely give some confidence to Gukesh as well for his World Championship match preparation, because Sindarov was looking bulletproof until now. And it is true that once you have the World Championship match on your mind, it's very difficult to be yourself in tournaments, because earlier winning the tournaments was the most critical thing for you. But now even as you play the tournaments, your maybe part of your mind is at, oh, can I use this preparation? Should I keep it for my World Championship match? Should I use it? And that kind of duality can really set you in difficult stage. Not many people have managed to master it. There is a certain Magnus Carlsen who managed to do it for a decade, but not everyone. And that's, I think, the difficulty that Javokhir will have, which we will see if he will manage to navigate. But for now, the game has been wonderful for Pragg, and look at him there. He's taking his time today with the fans, which is very nice to see. And Pragg does look in good spirits. We'll continue the coverage of this tournament. We have Abhyudaya at the venue there in Romania, bringing us all these live footages of Pragg interacting with the fans. This is Sagar Shah signing off. Bye-bye.